back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you this 10-minute makeup routine that I do when I get very late, especially for college. You can do this for work, college, whatever you feel like. This literally takes me 10 minutes to achieve and it's very lazy girl friendly. So if you want to know how I achieved this, then please keep on watching. So let's start off with sunscreen, and the first thing that you should be doing when you're going out in the daytime for college, school or work is to apply sunscreen. Even if you don't see scorching sunlight and even if it's cloudy outside, you should be putting sunscreen, or else the UV rays can damage your skin really bad and you can get a tan like I did. So I will be going in with the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Sunscreen, and this has an SPF of 50 plus. I'll take something like this and then I'll just put it all over my face as well as my neck. Do not forget your neck. And this one does have a slight white cast, but that's fine with me. I don't mind. And I'm just gonna put it there, and with the remaining I'm just gonna put it all over my hands because I think I took a little too much. And I'm just gonna blend this out. With applying sunscreen all over my face, and now for my body, because of course I did not apply too much, I only applied whatever was left off. You also need to be applying sunscreen on your body, especially on your hands. Look at this. Again, I've learned it the hard way. You should always put sunscreen on your body as well, especially if you're not wearing something which is full sleeve. So for that I will be taking this spray sunscreen by Nivea because I'm lazy like that. And I don't like putting it over my face because apparently you're not even supposed to put it on your face directly. So I'm just like, then what is the point if I can't even spray it on my face? And for your face, it has a very strong alcoholic smell which is very irritating. So I like to put it on my hands. So I'm just gonna spray it over my hands. Now that we're all prepped with the sunscreen, let's move on to our base. And this is going to be a very light 10-minute sort of makeup. It can look like it's taking a long time because I will be explaining through the process, but it literally takes me 10 minutes because this is the kind of makeup I do when I'm really late and I can only spare 10 minutes for my makeup. So I don't like to use a primer for a daily basis because I don't need it, to be honest. I apply very light makeup on these days and I feel like the primer doesn't really do anything. But if you want your makeup to be long lasting, or you want something to be pore filling or smoothing out, then definitely go ahead with the primer. I'm gonna be skipping that and I'm gonna move on to my base. Now I don't like to use a foundation on a daily basis, especially if I'm getting late, because I don't feel the need for it. If you want, you can totally go ahead with foundation if that is your style, but I'm just gonna be skipping it because that's what I do. And for concealer, I'm gonna be going in with this Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is in the shade 30 Honey. What I like to do is I just put it as dots all over my under eyes because that is my problem area. And what you have to do is you have to identify your own problem areas. If you have blemishes or acne scars, those are your problem areas. For me, these dark circles are the only problem areas that I have, and my forehead. So what I do is I just apply a little bit here and also on my mouth area, just so everything looks a little more even. You can use your fingers. This is totally optional, but I'm gonna use this sponge. This is by Plume, and I use this because it does not take away the coverage of the product, but it blends it out very nicely. It does the job way quicker, so I don't have to spend much time on this. So I'm just gonna blend it out. All I do is whatever is left on the sponge, I just put it all over my face just so that everything looks really evened out. And that is it. I suggest you go in with a concealer which is exactly your skin tone, as this one is exactly my skin tone, and that's why I can use it on my dark circles as it neutralizes them. And you can also use it on your blemishes. so that they can also be neutralized. If I have some time, I would go in with a brightening concealer. This is again the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is in the shade 25 medium, and this acts as a highlighting concealer. I'm just going to do that for the purpose of the video. You can do this or you can skip this. It's totally optional. I just apply it right under my eyes. As I told you, that's my problem area. So I just focus on this part. The inner corners are actually the darkest parts of your eyes, so that's why I just brighten them up using this concealer. We have to set our base in place, and for that I will be using the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. This is in the shade Light. This right here is everything. It makes your makeup look so good. You have to get this. I cannot recommend this enough. So what I do is I just take my beauty sponge and just take a little bit on this, and then I'll just take the creases out of my eyes. You should be doing this step before setting your under eyes or any other place, because or else you will be setting the creases into place and you don't want that. The rest of my base as well so that nothing looks too greasy. Just take a large powder brush like this and just swipe it all off, because it does the job really quickly. If you are from the oily skin type, you should set your whole face, or else it can get very oily very soon. I am from the dry skin, so I only set the areas that I put concealer in, as you saw, and then with whatever is left on the brush, I just applied it all over my face so that everything looks very cohesive and put together. Now what I like to do is go straight onto my eyes, and firstly I'm gonna do my brows, for which I use this Innisfree eyebrow pencil. This has a spoolie on one side, which is really helpful because you don't need to search for a spoolie again, and it also has a pencil on the other side. I feel like pencils are really easy to work with and they get the job done very easily instead of using pomades. You can also use powders, no problem. And I'm just gonna zoom you guys in a little bit. What I do is I just lightly brush my brows first, and you can do this if you have full brows. If you don't, then spend a little more time on your brows and maybe less on the other stuff if you don't need it that much. It's all about preference, and there are no rules to makeup. This is just what I do. I just do a little line, as you saw, and then I just make hair-like strokes on the front with very light motions, and also on the sparse areas I just draw like this, and then again just brush it out. Next, for my eyeshadow, I use this palette. This is the Makeup Revolution Fortune Favours the Brave palette. Take this shade as well as this shade, and I do my eyeliner with that. I feel that doing a winged liner is really hard, especially in 10 minutes, because once you mess up, there is no going back. So what I like to do on days that I'm late is basically make like a 4 winged liner, because if you mess this up, you can still blend it out and pretend like nothing happened. I like to use brushes like these. This is a pencil brush which has a dome shape like this, which really helps to pack on the color. This one is a blending brush which is quite small, so you can blend that line out without it taking away too much of the pigment. So first, I will be dipping into the brown shade. I'm just going to take it on the brush and just go over my lash line, just how you would do a winged liner. Make sure you're not too harsh. And brown is also really soft, so you can actually pair it up with any formal look or anything without it looking too much. Actually leave it like this, which I think is a really pretty look. But what I do is I take the black shade now, just to add some depth to this. I just go over the lash line again. I go over a little lower than where we put the brown, so that it adds some depth to the look. And now taking this blending brush, don't mind the oranges in here. I used it for a previous look, but that won't interfere in our look. I just blend these edges out to give it a more soft look. You can use any brown or any black that you want for this. Doesn't really matter, just make sure that the pigmentation is good so that you don't have to go in too many times. Honestly, it takes me like 2 to 3 minutes to do, so it's fine. Not even 2 to 3 minutes. And that is it. It blends out really easy. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of this on my lower lash line as well, because I don't like to use a kajal. Once again, you can of course go with your preference. I'm just gonna take this eyelash curler and just curl my lashes. I'm gonna add some mascara. This is the Total Temptation mascara by Maybelline, and it's waterproof, which is perfect for the monsoon season. That we are done with the mascara situation, let's move on to bronzer, which I never miss because my face is quite round and I just want to give it some structure. You can totally skip the steps, they are all optional, but I'm going to use this sugar bronzer. This is the Sugar Mini Bronzer and it's in the shade Taupe Topper. This is what it looks like. I'm just going to take an angle brush like this. This is from Wet n Wild. And I'm just gonna dip into this and just very lightly contour my face. I'm not doing anything very specific because let's face it, we don't have time for that. I'm just applying it on my jawline as well as the hollows of my cheekbones and a little bit on my forehead as well, just to make it look a little smaller, and a little bit on my nose because I feel like it feels a little neglected. Now I'm going to be using the same brush because switching brushes also takes a lot of time, and I'm going to use this Fit Me blush. This is what it looks like, and this is in the shade Rose. It's a very pretty everyday pink sort of shade, and I suggest you at least use a blush so that your face looks like there is some color in it instead of looking very flat. So even if you skip bronzer, make sure to use a blush. So I'm just gonna smile and apply it all over my cheekbones. This one isn't very pigmented, so there is a very less chance that you'll actually go overboard with it if you're afraid of that. And see how pretty this thing looks. After we are done with that, the only thing that's left is a highlighter. And for that, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Illuminating Megaglo highlighter. And of course, I broke this. This is what it looks like. This is in the shade Precious Petals. This is really good everyday sort of highlighter, and that's why I love it. I'm going to use a brush like this. This is a tapered blending brush, but it's quite fluffy, so it does not give a very concentrated highlight look, and it's also much quicker than using a fan brush. So I take my highlighter on this and I just put it on the tops of my cheekbones, and I connect it to my brow bone in a C sort of shape. On my cupid's bow as well, and my nose. A little bit just on the tops of my brows. And with that, our base is complete. The one thing I always do is just go over a beauty blender so that it's not too harsh and not too in your face, because let's be real, it's daylight and this is not camera makeup, so we cannot put too much products on our face and expect it to look like skin. And I just do one thing. I just take my finger, my pinky finger, and take a little bit of highlighter, and I just apply it on my inner corners just to make me look like I'm a little more awake, because usually I'm so sleep deprived. And now the only thing left is the lip color, which is the best part because you can use any lip color that you want. You can go for reds, pinks, nudes, anything that you want, anything that you like. Everything is wearable with this. I'm just gonna use this Wet n Wild lipstick. This is a very pretty mauvey nude sort of shade, and it goes with a lot of skin tones, and this is in the shade Looking for Truffle. This is what the shade looks like. So this is what the lip shade looks like. It's really pretty dusty rose kind of nude. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like if you found it helpful. Also comment down below how much time it takes you to get ready and how much time you're willing to spend on your makeup on a daily basis. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!